I'm John B., the founder of Iconics World, the leading hub of Web3 esports.
Our mission, uncover the icons of tomorrow. Get ready for Icon X Live, your adrenaline-fueled rendezvous, every Sunday at 7 p.m. UTC.
Yo, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Icon X Weekly Grand Prix, the ultimate simulation racing world where you can enjoy the thrill of the competition from the comfort of your own homes. My name is Ice, and I will be your host for tonight's show. Thank you all so much for joining us once again on this fantastic weekend. Last Sunday, we finally got to witness the Black Swan events because, in case you guys don't know, there's a racing god on the streets of Icon X, and his name is Bestel Racing. Week after week, this man has emerged to claim the #1 spot in our exhibition matches. But truth be told, his debut established him as the force to be reckoned with since the very early days here at Icon X, as he steamrolled the competition and claimed his spot for Sandbox's esports racing team. However, last week, we saw the competition in which our man with the pink ride, Just Boris, surprised everyone with his immaculate driving skills, pulling ahead to first place and never giving it back. So congratulations to you, Boris. Thank you so much for keeping all of us on edge. I know Jana is especially pleased with your driving performance last week. And here's to many more, my guy. Keep on crushing it on the racetrack, fam, and we'll be seeing you in just a moment. Because today in Formula One racing, professionals from all around the world have come around to race it out here in Canada. And of course, our drivers at Icon X World will be fighting a similar battle here on the Icon X Canadian Grand Prix as well. And as our drivers fire up their engines in preparation for the race, let me take this moment real quick to check in with our loveliest of ambassadors, the star, the legend, the queen herself. It's Jana. What's good, homie? How you doing today?
My God, as always, you make me feel crazy with your introduction. Thank you so much. Hello, I am amazing. It's been an incredible day. Went to run in the morning. Now I am here, since lunchtime, working, doing a lot of crazy things. And of course, now the best moment of my Sunday, which is here. And yes, last week I was incredible. Happy because the best color ever won, and I also now I have you guys know the Jana on pink here, but I also have another pink stuff in my front, another light, so everything is pink right now. I think this is a movement. And anyways, let's see today. I hope to see more pinks in our race as well. But yeah, I am incredible. How about you, Ice? Are you good? Are you having a good weekend? Could you relax a little bit?
Oh, my weekend is going good. I'm a little blown away by just how much pink is going on. We got the pink hat, we got the pink curtains, is that a pink teddy bear? I don't know if it's actually pink. It looks pink from here. We got the pink neon lights. There's just pink all over the place. I was gonna ask you how the studio setup was coming along, but clearly it's looking like it's coming along pretty good.
Yeah. Very nice, right? I am thinking, about pinking, painting the whole wall in pink as well. I think that would be. No, I'm joking. That would be horrible. I know. You don't need to. I know, but yeah, I love pink, but pink with black is like awesome.
Yeah. Pink with black, also electric blue with black, also a good combination. Just throwing it out there. But real talk, like, how did you feel last week when Boris clutched it out in first place? Like, because I know we've always been joking around. Oh, it's gonna be Bestel. It's gonna be Bestel. It's probably gonna be a Bestel. But you know what? Last week it wasn't. When we saw Boris just absolutely clutch it out, even boxing out Bestel until the final moments, I had goosebumps throughout the entire way. But I'm just curious, how did you feel when Boris clutched out first place?
That was amazing because we also have been seeing him joining, I think, 3 at least of the last races we had, and was amazing to see him finally winning at the first place. also changing a little bit our top three. So I
Yes.
mean, we have amazing racers here, but we definitely want to see different ones competing at the top. So I'm excited for today and see, how we'll be with everyone all together,
Absolutely. We see a fresh face on the leaderboard. It's always an exciting moment, right? And actually, speaking of which, we do have a very special guest joining us again today. Whew, man, this dude, we had an amazing space together a few weeks ago, and I'm extremely excited to have the honor to chat with this man again today. He is the crypto and NFT mogul, and of course, the CMO of Play vs. X. Welcome back to the show, Lab. How are you doing today, King?
Very well, very well. Thanks for the epic intros. Ice, you're literally born for this role, aren't you? Like the man, the tee up god, the commentator, and an amazing space host. So yeah, privileged to be here with you guys today. Really excited. It looks like a really cool setup, and sounds like the races are really intense as well. So really excited to see that. Let's go.
Absolutely, brother, and I'm very flattered for the kind words, man. Thank you so much. Last time on the spaces, we talked AI and GameFi. We talked interoperability. We even talked about like friends playing golf and wagering bets on it. And of course, near the end of the show, we went into a super deep dive to the deep end about the ins and outs of cryptocurrency, Web3 gaming adoption. It was honestly an exceptional conversation, my guy. But to keep our audience members in the loop about what the team at Versus X is cooking, let's dial it back just a little bit here. So, Lav, once again, can you please give us a brief explanation on what Versus X is and what does Versus X aim to accomplish in this space?
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to. So Versus X is essentially a skill-based wagering ecosystem. Versus X is the first product from eSkills Games, and Versus X is focused on realistic sports. So we will have golf, pool, a karting game, basketball, bowling, and loads of other sports by the end of the year. And the wagering layer comes in. You'll be able to wager against friends, family members, random people online, community members, sworn rivals, and you'll be able to wager several different cryptocurrencies. And yeah, essentially winner takes the majority pot, and then the small rate goes back to the ecosystem. And we will be facilitating thousands of games throughout the year, with tournaments and loads of other things to keep people sort of on their toes. By the end of the year as well, we also have like sort of white label services, so communities, whether it's KOL communities or NFT communities, will be able to set up their own tournaments and stuff as well. So yeah, we've got lots of partner tokens that we're integrating into the game as well for PvP wagering. So we're just looking to bring something sort of really fresh to the space, really. We've been building it out since 2021. The closed beta will be out in the next couple of weeks. And Dean, our founder, was very one of the first people to really pitch skill-based wagering in the Web3 space. And we're starting to see now a lot of projects start to adopt that. I think the play to earn model had a lifespan, whereas skill-based wagering is a lot more sustainable. We run quite a lot of stuff on machinations, which is really good for testing gaming economies, and the lifespan's pretty good. So yeah, we're really excited to be launching in the next couple of weeks, and again, really excited to be here with you guys again today.
Love it, man. Thank you so much. I just found it funny. Wagering against friends, family, and sworn rivals. That's a new one. But I really do like this concept, because last week we also talked a lot about competition esports. And when we're talking about skill-based wagering, this is something that I enjoy a lot, because whenever we talk about skills and competition, at least in Web3, it's hard to measure this metric, at least effectively, right? And one of the ways that a lot of companies do try to measure this metric is unfortunately an inaccurate one, but it's time spent on platform. And as all of us in the esports scene know, the time spent on a platform or a game does not necessarily translate into excellence in performance, right? Because oftentimes people find ways to bot the system, to exploit the system, basically to cheat the system and to get more rewards than the amount that they're actually they actually deserve. So I'm curious, man, with regards to Versus X, are there any kind of anti-cheating or anti-bot mechanisms that the team has in place?
Yeah, great question. There will be no benefit of multi-counting because you'd want to age one account and put more effort into that one account, as a person. But yeah, for the closed beta, we will be testing a lot of different anti-cheats that will be on the market, and we're also working with one of our partners who's developing an AI anti-cheat as well, but that's a bit top secret, but we should be able to share information about that soon. We also have other things in place. There's a couple of different things here, right? The wagering, for one, needs to have pretty decent anti-cheat around it. Worst case scenario, we use some sort of escrow system where we'll be able to sort of like review games and stuff like that. That is worst case scenario because we want to keep immersion alive. We want things to be much more fast paced, but it is an option. But yeah, in regards to like in-game rewards, potential airdrops and stuff like that, we'll be collecting a lot of data both in-game and on-chain. So yeah, playtime will come into it, the amount wagered, the amount won, and lots of other different attributes as well. Maybe even the length of time that someone sat in a top 10 position on the leaderboard for the next 3 months. So there's lots of a lot of metrics that we're recording. So we're going to be quite innovative, I think, with rewards within the game.
I love it, man. The more you describe it, the more it sounds like an actual Web 2 or whatever kind of like esports like gaming leaderboard. And whenever there's a ladder to climb, you know how gamers are. People they just lose their minds. We just got to climb higher and higher on the ladder. Despite this, against all odds, we are going to climb this ladder. But I asked this question because when it comes to the handling of money, wagering bets and whatnot, transparency and safety, it is definitely one of those things that people really want to know about. But I find that recently in the space, sometimes it feels like it's a little bit overlooked, right? And I kind of want to throw the mic to Jana on this one, because like on the topic of research and security, I think Jana probably knows more than any of us here. So let me ask you this, Jana, just like overall in the past like couple of months, how do you feel the space thinks about Web3 security? Do you think they care a lot, or do you think they don't care enough?
Wow, that's very very difficult to measure and complicated to talk about, complicated also to learn, to teach, to keep people involved enough to be able to pass the information. I would say definitely not care enough, for sure. That's even kind of bad to say, but it's kind of the reality. Again, I like to mention this all the time because I am an engineer. I am very into how this is really working, and then being eager to understand what is, going on in the background. And I found that most people, not only in Web3 but in real life, that is how human works. They don't actually care much about how this works, and we prefer to put this in other person's responsibility. So from that, I can even come to the point where, from this thing, knowing that we are like this, unfortunately, we many times prefer to say that if that person use, or if that person posts, I'm gonna trust. So because of that, we give the safety kind of away and just like put in another person the fault, the guilty. So with that in mind, I would say we definitely don't care enough, but not even not only in Web3, but in real world is the same stuff. We use a bank, or we use even a brand, not because we really know what is in the background, in the backstage of that brand, but because people are using that cool guy is posting. And the same narrative we have here in the Web3, where people don't care enough, especially now that the market is most of the time green and people are happy. They are just like, where I'm supposed to click, where I'm supposed to buy, so I can be into the next thing, and that is very sad. But again, it's also complicated to talk about this. It's so boring many times to talk about these layers of security parts,
I absolutely agree. It is it's as they say, it is not the sexiest thing to talk about, right? Security, wallet safety, and all. And I think that's just it. Like Jana, is that people, in a nutshell, people don't care. They just want it to work, right? We don't care how the security system really works. We just want it to perform. And unfortunately, it's only when people lose out on winnings due to these security breaches, then people come complaining, then people come like giving feedback and all this and all that. And that's just it, because the care, and when it comes to Web3 security, this care, it comes too often in the form of complaints, and it doesn't come in the form of constructive or genuine feedback. And this is something that I think we need a lot more of in this space. But I mean, the nature of the beast is, until something goes wrong, people will just stay silent about it. So it's really tough to get that feedback and to get that genuine constructive feedback. And I believe this is also something that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, Lav. But on the topic of just like safety, compliance, and the handling of money, and with the whole betting system, I kind of want to give the audience an opportunity to learn more about how everything works. So, in the spirit of a skill-based competition, if someone wanted to play a game on the platform, and let's say we're wagering $5 to $10, how would this process look like? Can you kind of walk us through it?
Yeah, good question. So essentially, for the first edition or iteration in the closed beta, we have pool live for PvP wagering, and essentially you'll be able to navigate to the like pool hall, or you'll be able to fast travel to the pool hall in game, because we've got sort of like this open world-esque thing going on, and the game will expand as we develop the game and also bring in new users. And then once you find the PvP pool table, you interact with it, and it will open like a lobby screen, so you'll be able to either host your own game or join someone else's, and then you'll be able to select your wager, and then when someone else agrees it, essentially you'll both put say it's $5, you both put $5 into the smart contract, and then you'll play the game. The winner will be decided. The winner will get it varies, but maybe 90 to 95% of the winnings, and then 5 or 10% goes back to our treasury. So it's a pretty simple process, and it's all the gas fees and transactions are done on the back end as well. So it should be, there should be no need to break immersion, which is another reason why we kind of want to avoid using escrow as well, because obviously that will have some form of delay on reward payouts. But yeah, it's a pretty easy it's a pretty easy process, really.
That's amazing to hear, man. And as you can see live on the stream right now, our racers are getting their engines started, ready to fire up onto the racetracks here. But one last question to Lav here before we begin. So, like, in your opinion, like, what do you think is the next big step here required for gaming projects or launch pads to really hit the mainstream audience? Because it feels like we're not able to target the people that we're truly trying to hit right now, right?
Do you know what? You talking about security before actually had me thinking, if we really want to adopt Web 2 users, like,
yes,
security needs to be much safer,
yes,
we can't have people being scared to, transact on chain and stuff like that. So I think that's probably a big one. But yeah, we definitely need to see more streamers, more quality Web 2 focused traditional gamer streamers covering content. And I think, yeah, everything needs to be frictionless. Everything needs to be easy to understand and intuitive, and I think that we probably need more education as well.
Absolutely. It all goes back to the stigma that was built up, the stigma attached to that whole 2021 bull run on all those rugs. We need a long time to rebuild that trust back, right? And I think security is the place that we really got to start, because people are tired of getting scammed. People are also tired of thinking, oh, NFT, Web3 gaming, that's a scam. This is something that we absolutely have to dispel. So I think you're right, man. When it comes down to it, security is something that we really should be focusing on.
100%.
Yeah, and I'm pulling up the races right now. I started off the stream today by saying Bastel was finally taken down. But look who's in first place after qualifiers. It is Bastel Racing once again. The legend don't die. A god is always going to be the god. But damn. I can't say I'm too surprised. Bastel, he is the most consistent racer we have in the races for sure. But sometimes even the best makes a mistake. But this week it's tough to say. It's tough to say if Bastel is going to let that happen once again. But what do you think, Jana? What do you think is going to happen today?
Yeah. No, I won't say. I won't say any guess, to be honest, because we have just amazing names, and you know, I see also a little bit of pink in Bastel's cars, so I definitely gonna be eager to cheer for him. But yeah, I mean, I won't say anything. All of the amazing racers, I just want to see how they will perform. Yeah, you see, that is a little bit of pink. So the tendency is very high that Bastel will win, because of the pink. But
Because of that
let's
thing.
see.
Also, shout out to the cameraman and the producers for making that zoom in happen. That was on point.
Well done. That was awesome. Yeah,
That
right
was
on
awesome.
point.
But Lav, man, let me take this one to you. So for someone that's watching, actually, yeah, first of all, is this the first time that you're watching like a simulation race, or have you seen races like this before?
Not an Icon X one. I remember watching an 8-bit one before, but yeah, no. So this is completely simulated.
Sorry, are you asking if this is similar to the 8-bit version?
No, sorry. Is it simulated or are they actually racing?
Oh, it's a simulation racing game. Yes. So all of our drivers are strapped in their living room or somewhere in their studio at home. They're not actually in the cars racing, but they are in a car build out in their living room racing. So they got the I don't think they have a clutch. They got the gas, they got the brakes, steering wheel, the panel, and the bucket seats and all that stuff. So it's basically like they are racing in a race, but they're at home.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like a racing sim. Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant like actual simulated, like they weren't controlling their cars.
Oh,
No,
I see what you're saying.
That's awesome. That's what I thought it was initially. So no, it's really exciting.
Yeah, that's I guess like auto racing or AFK racing, but no, that's not what this is. These drivers are absolutely in the seat manually driving. They will be taking all these turns in real time. But what I was gonna ask you is because last time we spoke, we kind of joked around the idea of like, hey, what if a Versus X had an esports racing team and this and that. I don't know how much of that seed has manifested and grown into a sprouting plant in the garden of your mind here, Lav. But if you were an esports team manager, what would you look for in a competent driver that you would want to represent your team?
Yeah, great question. I guess like some real life karting or like F3 experience would be pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We know we've got a family friend who does he never got into F1. I think he made it to F2, and he trains people to like kids to get into F3, 2, 1. But recently I've spoke to him and he said that he started training gamers as well that do racing sims. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yep. Whoa, Dr. Snake here doing the impossible. I don't know who saw that on screen just now. This man just did a 180, immediately another 180. It looked like he was just showing off, to be honest, but he didn't spin out. He went back right on it without stopping. Let's go, my man. Wow, that was actually kind of crazy. I'm seeing a lot of teal, a lot of sky colors, but no blue. Okay, never mind. Right as I said that, a blue car rolls by.
Yeah, there is one.
I stand corrected.
I don't know yet from who, but soon we're gonna find out. Don't worry.
Yep, and actually Corleone taking the first place with our man Aubernier very closely in second. And I think Gulano is first time I'm seeing his name in the top 3. Right, Falco, Riddy, Bestel, I've all seen before, but yeah, Gulano, Van Velde, I feel if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. But yeah, this is the first time I've seen a Gulano on the racetrack, and he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, also we had well, not the first time. I won't say first time, but we had the beginning, in the line. I don't know the name. The start line. I don't know. Was very rush. I would say a lot of changing in the lines, in the colors, in the cars going up and down in the leaderboard. I think it's a great start, and I think we're gonna have a lot of names changing during the whole race.
Yeah, like literally right as you said that, Shana, Falco took over Gulano in third place. So once again, our top 3 are the people that we've already come to know and love. We got Corleone in first, Aubernier in second, and Falco in third. But no matter what happens, I'm not going to count out my man in Bestel. And as we say that, he just overtook Riddy from 6th to 5th place. But will he come back to the top 3? Let's find out in just a few more moments. But in the meantime, I want to throw the mic back over to Lav here, because one of the main topics that we spoke about during our spaces last time, it's kind of like I asked you, how important do you think esports is? And the true question I wanted to get at was how important is the art of competition in bridging Web 2 and Web 3, right? Because I think a lot of us builders in the space, it's the holy grail that we've been looking for. What is the catalyst that's going to bring us out of this bear? What is the catalyst that's going to bridge Web 2 and Web 3? What is the catalyst that is going to end up like actually helping us establish worldwide adoption? So many questions, and yet not many answers are available to us. But I think we're getting a little bit closer as each day passes by. And in my mind, at least within the game, within the Web3 gaming realm, I think competition, the fueling of the competition between 2 or more players, that really does spark something truly special. At least that's what I believe. But what do you think, Lab? How important do you think competition is when it comes to the bridging of Web 2 and Web 3?
Yeah, good question. I think if you look at the progress of gaming, you know, over the last like 30, 40 years, initially it was just to complete the game, get your name on the leaderboard at the end. You know, you'd enter in your 3 initials or whatever, or, you know, to speed run the game or get the most points, the highest score, I guess, like on pinball and stuff like that. And then over the years, we've kind of started to incentivize gamers to play games with, you know, maybe in-game rewards, such as, you know, skins or loot crates and stuff like that. So it was only, you know, its natural progression that eventually it would turn to be some sort of, like cash prize or something like that. So I think esports was inevitable. And I think esports is a really good segue for Web3 gaming, especially because it started to kind of wake people up to the fact that, hey, I can actually play video games and make money here. Similar to streaming and, you know, creating content as well. I think skill-based wagering especially is kind of like a happy middle between it all, because it's like, okay, not everybody wants to become a streamer, and it's extremely cutthroat, right? It's like a tiny fraction of people that try to actually make it to a level where they can actually sort of make a decent, you know, living from it. And then also you got players that maybe enjoy competitive gaming but are not good enough to be esports, you know, in an esports team or to get drafted for an esports team. So yeah, I think skill-based wagering is kind of like that happy middle for that. And from all the research that we've done as well, it suggests that, you know, it's just going to go from strength to strength as the years go on.
Yes.
But competitive gaming is, you know, competitive and sports, like, obviously go hand in hand. So yeah, it's a really interesting blockchain integration into a game, I think. You know, having the wagering model, but also like competitive leaderboards and stuff like that. It keeps people playing, right? If the game, if for instance, you know, like this, I imagine has got, you know, a bunch of laps to it, or we'll go on for 20 minutes or something like that. I remember doing Gran Turismo races when I was a kid, and everybody would play Gran Turismo and would love it. And there was, I'm pretty sure there was like 8-hour like courses, or maybe even like 24-hour races that you could do like in the game, and people did it, and that wasn't for any sort of financial reward or anything. That was just get an achievement in the game, you know. So
Yeah.
I think once we get all the sticky stuff out of the way, you know, like better gaming economies, better security, you know, like more streamers and more adoption and stuff like that, I do really think that, you know, crypto integration or blockchain integration into gaming is inevitable. Whether or not it's called Web3 gaming or just called gaming is like, you know, it's like a completely different argument. But yeah, you know, over the next 5 years especially, I think it is inevitable.
I agree, man. You know, I love how you brought up Gran Turismo. So I played it a few times way back in the day, but it was actually quite recently where I saw the movie. Did you see the movie as well, or no?
I haven't watched the movie yet, actually.
Oh, man.
Like, I'm so behind on like all cinema and TV shows and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I get you, man, because like I'm just the same as you. It's like touching grass and watching movies. Those are two things I don't do.
That's Web3 problem. We can't move. We can't survive. We can't watch.
We can't disconnect ourselves from the computer. Yeah, even if it's to watch a Web 2 movie, that takes a lot of convincing and effort. But no, but the Gran Turismo movie, I was shocked at how much I loved it. It definitely reminded me a lot about Icon X throughout the entirety of the movie. That is literally all I had in my mind. But we're talking about competition, and I loved all those points that you made earlier, Lav. And it really does resonate with what I think in esports as well, because just like you said, people spend 24 plus hours playing these games. They don't care about the money. They're there for the achievements. It's for bragging rights, right? And it pushes people to drive better. It pushes people to get better so they can get more views on their content. And when there is an esports, when there's a competition, meaning that there is a first place, second place, and whatever, it justifies the reward, right? Because how do we justify a reward? Like right now, we got Corleone in first place and Obenye in second. That is a really good metric to justify how much reward each of these racers will get. So the system, the ladder, it is a very good justification to how much these people will be earning. And when people see drivers or players, gamers earning these rewards, the audience will take notice, and it's going to encourage the audience to get in on that wave as well. So it does all of the above, and it builds an audience, which I think is the most central part when it comes down to Web3. And coincidentally, this is also what versus X is doing. So and my damn, I just saw Dr. Snake slide out once again, unable to recover this time, but that's an unfortunate to see. But hopefully he gets back into the game. But anyway, bringing things back on track, what I wanted to ask you, Lav, was given all the things that we spoke about why competition is important, how does Versus X plan to leverage the art of competition in order to grow as a brand?
That wipeout was pretty nasty. It was a bit of a collision into the back of him. Then I was on the edge of my seat. But yeah, another great question. Inclusivity is really important to us, and I think that's really important for any sort of studio building in Web 2 or Web 3. So we're looking to, be available on mobile, and people have access anywhere in the world. And we've also got the free-to-play path as well as the wagering side of things. But it really is, a competitive game. It's like head-to-head, peer-to-peer, but we also have player versus AI as well.
Nice.
And when I kind of joke on spaces and stuff, and I'm like, hey, play against random people online, play against your friends, play against your nan, your grandma, you play against your sworn enemy. I kind of like or sworn rival, kind of joke about these things, but like that's kind of like how we see it. There's a lot of, especially on X, like crypto Twitter, you see a lot of trash talking between people and stuff, and it's like settle it in Versus X, 1v1 someone, big cash pool prize, swing it in Versus X, So we're really looking forward to, once the product's live and once we're sort of out of our closed beta, we'll be doing some sort of like high head-to-head, decent prizes. We'll probably sort of initiate these initially, and get people, just like KOLs and stuff, like going head-to-head. Maybe even do like a KOL sort of bracket for a tournament and stuff like that. But we'd love to, get streamers and stuff more involved in the game. But yeah, there's no end, like I was saying earlier, like all the data and stuff that we can collect in game and on chain, there's no end to it. So we can like put out like sneaky tournaments and stuff all the time. So it's like not just winners that get rewarded. Maybe there will be rewards for game time or the amount of times that you've attempted something, or other things like that as well. So but yeah, no, there's definitely competitive nature is definitely one of the main things that we're tapping into.
Absolutely. And the more you speak about it, the whole concept of a skill-based wagering, it really does fall in line with Icon X, because skill wagering, like wagering money on a golf game, it's kind of similar than wagering money here, like on the racetrack, right? So when you see Versus X and Icon X, like what major layers of affinity and like synergy do you see as a CMO of your project?
Yeah, what you guys are doing is incredible. Obviously I've looked through the socials and the website and stuff before and had a good idea of it, but watching the stream now, it really is great. And it's, you know, something that we would love to do, or what we plan to do in future, and which is why we are building with esports in mind to have like spectate mode and lobbies and like replays and stuff like that as well. So I definitely think that we can work together on some big prize pools and stuff. But yeah, it's great to see this now, because I'm thinking like, you know, how good it's going to be to get everybody to watch golf streams and stuff like that. It seems boring to a lot of people, golf, but the longer I've been with Versus X now, the more I realize how big golf actually is. I did some lessons last year and I've started playing myself a little bit and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But I think it's one of those things where you don't really notice how big it is until you start kind of participating and start talking about it a bit more. But it really is a huge sport across the world, and I think crypto bros love golf as well. So yeah, I think we should get some decent traction with that one. I think to say, you know, that you got the first sort of like 18-hole golf course in Web3, and then also the first golf course where you'll be able to online wager against your buddies, I think is a pretty big pillar for us. But yeah, what you guys are doing is amazing. I don't know if you've discussed or thought about doing like a wagering model or how the prize pools work, but it's definitely, you know, something that, you know, you should look into because it's really interesting. Obviously, betting on the outcome of other people's races is a bit different, and you need gambling licenses for that. But skill-based wagering is like, you know, pretty much legal in most of the major regions and states.
For sure. And yeah, our drivers are competing for 300 ICNX tokens like on the line. I'm not actually sure exactly how the pot is split. I know back then on the first 2 months of these streams, our racers, there was like a top 3 system where like if you placed first, you got a certain allocation, second was a little bit less, and third a little bit less, so on and so forth. But now, yeah, again, now I'm not sure if that system has been altered, but essentially that is exactly what you're speaking about there, Lav, right? It is skill-based wagering. Like how good are you at the driving game, and based on your execution and how you compete with other players, you're going to be able to earn more, right? But to your point, bro, I do think crypto bros and sisters love golf. I'm in the unfortunate position where I've only golfed once in my life, and it was really, really early in the days. I was that guy that went to the golf course, borrowed someone else's club, stood there swinging it like 7-8 times, and never hit the ball even once. So for someone like me, I think a mobile or virtual golfing simulation I'll be very happy with that. You know, I don't need to invest in the club set. I don't have to embarrass myself on the grass. I can just swing from the safety of my home without looking like a clumsy fool. But I'm curious, Jana, do you play golf at all, or like what's your take on the whole golf situation?
I have never played golf.
Oh, okay.
Never. Yeah, I mean, here in Brazil, we don't have many places. That is the problem. And I think the opportunity I had was in Australia, that they had the mini golf. But I had played some, you know, like only my cell phone. But I think would be the kind of game that I would like a lot. You know? But I have no fucking idea. I really need to try some.
Me too. And thank you. The producers just chimed in and they told us so the top 10 drivers are actually all eligible for acquiring some of that prize pool money. So, and I know what you guys are thinking. Top 10 drivers, there's 10 drivers right now. Yes, but that's because there's 26 drivers in the qualifier section that we did not see that was leading up to today's races. So there are a lot more drivers actually competing to get into the finals. But just for today, all we're seeing is the final races, and we're not showing you guys the qualifiers this time around. And speaking of the leaderboards, we got an unfortunate DNF from our man, Dr. Snake. That first spin out, got pretty lucky. He did 2 180s somehow and kept on going. But damn, that second wipeout, the man was not fortunate enough to get out of that one. So, but damn, man, we'll see you back on the racetrack again, Dr. Snake. Please don't give up. We got you next time. You know, you're gonna keep on driving better. We'll see you again when the Grand Prix rolls around. But let me bring the topic back to Lav here, as our drivers are kind of unwinding down to the last 1 or 2 laps, with Corleone still hitting up in first place and Obene and Falco in second and third. Bestella Racing, he's kind of far behind in fourth place with 12 seconds. I don't know, but this man is known for pulling rabbits out of his hat, so we're not going to count the man out just yet. But Lav, one of the central topics that we discussed in our previous chat was the importance of interoperability, right? And within the scope of Web3 gaming, we've seen this word dropped many, many times, and every single time it's dropped, it seems like the definition is changing. So let me ask you this. What does interoperability mean to you?
Yeah, another good question. I think I've been in this space for a while, and I've been on several different blockchains, and paid attention to them. And you get like a lot of sort of maximists that don't look at other blockchains. And I think that there will be, I think for mass adoption, I think that we need to have more interoperability, and things need to be more omni-chain, because it's not going to be one blockchain that's superior. I know that obviously like ETH has a lot of infrastructure, and obviously has an insane amount of volume and stuff like that as well. But that's not to say that there won't be other super giants that come out there as well. But yeah, we built on Polygon because being on Polygon back in 2021 was the only way that we could have done frictionless gaming. And fast forward to 2024, and there's a lot of ways now to do frictionless gaming on a lot of different chains. We've bridged to Solana via Neon EVM because we want to be able to integrate Solana NFTs and Solana tokens into our game as well. So we're planning to be cross-chain because we when pushing towards Web 2 users, I don't think that they're going to be looking at any chain specifically. They're just going to be looking at the game, and we're going to want them to feel like they don't have to learn everything about Solana, how to transact on Solana, or how to use MetaMask and stuff like that as well. So yeah, we're trying to again be as inclusive as possible, and I think that over the last few years as well, we've started seeing a lot more people integrating other like chains into marketplaces, into wallets and stuff like that. A lot of people using a lot more bridges and EVMs and stuff like that now as well. So I think people are starting to realize this. Definitely like 5 years ago, everyone was a bit more tribalistic, and there wasn't that much cross-chain stuff going on. So yeah, I think it's for the greater good.
I think so too, and you're so right on the fact that when people like turn their eyes onto Web3 gaming, they're not going to care that it's Web3 gaming, or if it's Ethereum gaming, or Polygon gaming, or whatever chain gaming. They just want a game that plays well, executes well, and if they want to learn about crypto gaming and chains, they can deal with that after. The product comes first, the chaining and all that other stuff. It's really not at the forefront of their worries, at least in the immediate moment, right? And also, as our drivers head into this final lap over here, as the timer has expired, this will be the final lap of our drivers, and it looks like Corleon is hitting that number 1 spot with Obenye just a half second behind, and Falco 4 seconds back. And yeah, as good as Bestel Racing is, he's unfortunately going to be taking the 4th spot, or possibly the 4th spot, maybe 5th for this week's races. But wow, Corleon finally rising to the top and really showing us that he is 100% a contender for that 1st spot placement as well. But oh man, coming down to the races, I think this is it, right? They just crossed the finish line. Yeah, they just wrapped up the races. Corleon is spinning it out, doing us a couple of donuts here on the track here, showing us he's got that driving skills and the swag to back it up. But Labman, it's been amazing chatting with you once again. And before we actually wrap up the show for today, let me ask you this, man. What are some of the upcoming developments and advancements from the Versus X team that users can look forward to within the next couple of months?
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here, and congratulations to the winner as well. It's been a super epic race, and I'll definitely be trying to tune in again next week as well. But yeah, over the next couple of months, we've got a lot in store. We'll be finally releasing the closed beta, as well as doing sort of the NFT reveal as well. We've got a lot of big partnerships lined up with some pretty awesome tokens being integrated into the game for PvP wagering. But yeah, one of the things that I'm most excited about is the NFT wagering aspect, because people will be able to wager loot crates against each other, which is epic, and then people will be able to upgrade their loot crates as well by merging them together. So, you know, other than that, I think that the golf course, Forsyth's golf course, is really exciting, and I'm super excited about that. Just mainly because I'll be able to play it in the name of, you know, work. So I'll be able to play video games at work, which is every little boy's dream, right?
Yeah, it's the merging of the two worlds, man. It absolutely is the dream come true. I see our drivers are still lining up, trying to get that final photo finish in. Whoa! I guess this driver just said he's had enough. he's got to get the spotlight right now.
I can't do more. I love this one.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a graphic that the team has already implemented from before, but this burnout that's actually being applied onto the track and the grass, I never noticed that until today. That actually looks super cool. Yeah, that is actually, that is a fun. I think I have seen, but now that you said, I have no idea anymore. So, yeah, no idea. But it looks amazing for sure. Yeah, every single week as we wrap up the streams, there's always something fun to look at. It's like, oh, there's new racetracks. Oh, there's new cars. Oh, there's Jana and John's face on that guy's car. These are all. I hope because of that day, I always try to pay attention to all of our drivers' car now, because you never know. You never know when someone comes out with a customization that just absolutely slaps. But as our drivers are getting logged out, congratulations once again to the top 3 runners, Corleon, Obene, and Falco. You guys absolutely crushed it. We will be seeing you guys again next week in the racing track, which may or may not have some alpha. We'll wait for John to come back on that one to give you guys the lowdown. But Lav, one last time for our audience members tuning in, if they want more information on Versus X, where can they go to find it?
Yeah, follow us on X and jump into Discord. We try and keep competitions and stuff ticking over there. We've got a big one for the football, the Euros, going on at the moment. So again, guys, thanks very much. I've really enjoyed this, and yeah, shout outs to the winner, and thank you guys for hosting. You've both been amazing.
Dude, thank you so much. I'm gonna just I see you smiling. I see you have a heart in your hand. I'm gonna toss the mic over to you, Jana. How you feeling, bro?
No, I'm amazing. It was amazing to see so many names that we have seen so many times today in the race. It was an amazing race as always. Always have a good time here on my Sunday. Really excited. It was amazing have, everyone that it is with us here. And I guess we are getting ready for another week. So yeah, let's fucking go.
Another week, another series of amazing races. You got that right. Thank you so much for being here, Lav. And once again, it's always good to see you, Jana. But you already know that we're going to see each other a lot more in this week upcoming. But ladies and gentlemen, that will be all for tonight's show. But make sure you guys set your calendars for every Sunday at 7 p.m. UTC, where we will be back with more adrenaline-fueled simulation racing. This is going to be Ice, Jana, and Lav signing off, and we'll see all of you next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I'm John B., the founder of Iconics World, the leading hub of Web3 esports.
Our mission: uncover the icons of tomorrow. Get ready for Icon X Live, your adrenaline-fueled rendezvous, every Sunday at 7 p.m. UTC.